Hello, thank you for taking a moment to watch this video, and welcome back for those of you who've been going on this HubSpot training journey with me. Now, if this is the first video you're watching in the HubSpot training video series, I'd highly recommend that you go back to the beginning and watch them all in order, because they're all designed to build on each other to help you maximize your use of PhoneBurner with the HubSpot CRM. Now, with that being said, we're going to continue our training and we're going to talk about network. So if you watched our last video, we just configured our PhoneBurner account as a standalone account, and we are linking, or we had linked our PhoneBurner, and we had linked our HubSpot account with multiple PhoneBurner accounts. So let's go back in here to the Built by HubSpot, go to Settings. You'll see I've got Mary Closer and I've got Jeff Osnes. Both of these PhoneBurner accounts are connected to HubSpot, and each of them are syncing a specific set of data between the two systems. I don't remember which is which, so it doesn't really matter. They're different connections with different sync settings. Now, if you're the type of team that needs to have everybody working through a shared set of data, this is not the setup for you. You need to use the networked method. And if that's the case, you're on the right video. We're going to talk about that right now. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and turn off this sync because I don't need this one on anymore. We're going to move away from that. Let's go back over to PhoneBurner. Let's go to our team settings. Let's go to advanced, and we're going to switch to networked. Again, we're going to type in confirm. And there we go. Now we're networked. Now, one of the most popular reasons for using a networked account with HubSpot is for our feature called LeadStream. LeadStream allows you to create a pool of data. Let's take my contacts here. I've got 86 contacts. Let's say that was 8,600 contacts or whatever it is. I've got a pool of data and I want my entire team to just churn and burn through that data. If everybody logs in and then just goes to the contacts folder in the contacts tab and hits begin dial session, I run the risk of potentially having the same contacts called at the same time by different people. And so I need to either separate the data, or I need to have a mechanism in place to help me ensure that my team is not calling the same contacts at the same time. And that's where LeadStream comes into play. Now, I've already saved a quick link for this in my account to get me to the LeadStream settings. Now, if you've already switched to network, you're not going to see LeadStream in the normal UI, because typically LeadStream is for standalone customers. The only reason why we don't use it in standalone with HubSpot integrations is because of the different databases and how that can screw up the integration back to HubSpot. So if you are networked and integrated with HubSpot, then you can take this URL here. You can go to that anytime you want. I'd highly recommend that you save it as a quick link so that you can easily get there in the future. I've already done that. I'm here. So we're going to go ahead and create a new lead stream. So I'm going to click Add Lead Stream, get rid of these videos here, and we're going to create a lead stream. I'm just going to name it Calling Campaign. I'm not going to give it a description. There's more training on this particular feature in PhoneBurner if you want to dive into the details here. The specific type of lead stream I'm going to use is what's known as a blind/preview poll lead stream, more specifically a blind poll lead stream, because that's going to allow me to create a pool of data that I have multiple people calling through at the same time. And then I'm going to create what's called a preset. A dialer preset is a configuration of settings, a group of settings that I'm going to assign to the contacts that are going to be called through this specific lead stream. So I can call this Calling Campaign. I can assign a script. I can assign a voicemail. I can assign a dialing and live answer set. This gives me the ability or the flexibility to assign specific settings to specific groups of data. So I can actually have multiple lead streams running at the same time with different sets of records. We'll get into that in more details when we talk about workflows and sequences and stuff and how to really take advantage of that stuff with PhoneBurner. I can assign different caller IDs. I can have different dialing modes. I can have call recording turned on for some and not others. There's lots of different features. Now, of course, I don't have the call recording feature enabled on this account. So that's my preset. Then I can come in here to the distribution folder. All of my data is currently in that contacts folder. But I can't use that contacts folder as my distribution folder. As you see, it's not listed in here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder called Calling Campaign. Hit OK. And the receiving folder, as my team calls through the data that's in the calling campaign folder, I need to take it out of that folder so nobody else is calling it at the same time. So I'm just going to create another folder called Calling Campaign Receiving, or CCRCV for Calling Campaign Receiving. Hit OK. I'm going to lock that in. And anybody I don't connect with, I'm going to recycle back into the calling campaign. I'm going to give them, let's say, 24 hours. 24 hours after I call them, I want them back in the pool if I didn't connect with them. And I'm going to go ahead and next, add recipients. Now on this next screen where I add the recipients, these are the people who are going to be calling through that data. I can add everybody if I want. I can add just some people if I want. It's completely up to me who I add to this lead stream. I'm going to go ahead and add everybody, so I'm going to select them all. You can also set limits, how many total leads they can call from the lead stream, how many daily leads they can call from the lead stream. And also, really important to understand, you can create specific presets for each individual user that can be assigned to that specific user when they're making calls from this lead stream. I'm going to leave it set to the use lead stream default, whatever is selected at the lead stream level itself. And then I'm going to add the recipients. All right, so now all of my team members have been added to the lead stream. Everybody's going to have a new tab in their account called Leads. If I go to the Leads tab, you'll see that the calling campaign lead stream is visible, is accessible here, but there's no leads in it. And that's because I just created a new folder for this lead stream. So if we go back to contacts, and you'll see that there are no actual contacts in my calling campaign folder. Remember, it's a brand new folder. So if we go to the contacts folder, I can actually take contacts from the contacts folder and move them into the calling campaign folder. And now that I have data in the calling campaign folder, me and my team can now start calling through this data at the same time. So whether it's me or Mary, if we log in, if either one of us logs in and goes to the calling campaign lead stream and begins a dial session, we'll be calling through the same 84 contacts, but we will not be calling the exact same contact at the same time. And every contact that we call will get taken out of the calling campaign folder and moved into the calling campaign receiving folder, where it'll wait for 24 hours before getting recycled back into the calling campaign, or depending on the disposition, it could get moved into a different folder immediately. Now it's important to note that if you and your team decide to go with a networked account setup so that you can take advantage of LeadStream, that nobody should be initiating a dial session from the calling campaign folder. If you initiate a dial session from the calling campaign folder, you run the risk of having multiple people calling the same contacts at the same time. So make sure that everybody is beginning their dial session from the Leads tab right here. So anyway, that's it for this specific video where we talk about networked accounts and working with a lead stream. Thanks again and happy dialing. Bye for now.